The rails less taken. Episode 3. Macht, des Reiches. Season 2. War Stories. The 11th of February, 1945. Dresden, Nazi Germany. During the entirety of the Second Weltkrieg, the power of the Vaterland had begun straining severely across both the East and Western Front. All the power that had been put into the Blitzkrieg had worn away in the D-Day invasion from the West and the Soviet Communist charge through the German lines in the East. The Allied forces had since then commenced a series of bombing campaigns across the Rhineland to destroy the power of our dear Deutschland, while the Kommunisten cut through our Wehrmacht like a hot knife through butter. The Führer has put all his forces on the full offensive to try and regain momentum and retake lost territory, but to no avail. The people of Nazi Germany soon slowly went into a phase of mass hysteria. To prevent anti-Nazi sentiment, the Führer, Adolf Hitler, released his well-entrusted league of loyal military enforcers to serve as the secret police among the populace, as well as mentor new arrivals into the Hitler Youth Program. This league was dreadfully known as the Waffenschutzstaffel, or the Waffen-SS, the most bloodthirsty and most horrific branch of the Third Reich. In the city of Dresden in Bavaria, a full detachment of the Waffen-SS was sent to guard a high-priority marshalling yard near the factory districts to prevent its capture in the event of a foreign invasion. The Deutsche Reichsbahn Gesellschaft was the main national railway administration who held rights to the yard, and allowed both it and the engines stationed there to be put under service by the Waffen-SS. One such engine caught the eyes of First Lieutenant Gunther Schwarzkopf, a Kriegslocomotive. Du da drüben! Jawohl! Wie lautet dein Name? Wilhelm Richtofen, mein Herr. You're just the engine we need for our operations. Wilhelm looked puzzled. Operations, sir? What of the sort? Transport of munitions between here and Bonn, as well as military transports for the Wehrmacht and the Panzertruppen divisions. You will also see fit to carry new aircraft pieces for the Luftwaffe and handle special goods trains from Ludendorff to Hamburg. It will be my pleasure to serve as the SS miner. Good, because if you do, you will be highly rewarded among our ranks. For Deutschland! For Deutschland! Now get to work at once, Wilhelm. Sieg Heil! Sieg Heil! As Wilhelm was being prepared for his service for the SS, a BR-class 38 10-wheeler made its way into the yard with a troop retrieval train from the front lines in Silo Heights, and his name was Heinrich Schäfer, one of only many of his kind being used for the front, and an old friend of Wilhelm since the start of the war. Well, looks like somebody has gotten the honorable privilege to work for the Reich. What's the status up there in Silo? They've broken through. When Wilhelm heard Heinrich's despair in his sigh, when he said that, his face immediately fell and slowly worded out the severity of the situation. The communists? Are they? Their warpath is carving its way to Berlin. Our men are on the run. As Heinrich said that, the inhabitants of his train slowly got off, and Wilhelm could not believe his eyes. Lines and lines of wounded soldiers, some missing an eye, others without a limb, and some scorched black from the wrath of Soviet flamethrower tanks. Then the bodies were unloaded, many of them dismembered, broken, decapitated. The smell of the blood dripping from the corpses filled the air with an odor of death. Today Wilhelm received his privilege, but the carnage has shown him the world of darkness he was about to face. Oh my God! This is madness! Damn them! Damn them all! This is for Wilhelm. We've all been damned. And you know what happens next. What, Schäfer? What would that be? The end of us. Auf Wiedersehen. Leipziger. Wilhelm served under the direct leadership of the Waffen-SS under orders of Schwarzkopf's command. He pulled munitions trains loaded with new, yet terrified servicemen, prisoners of war, medical equipment, artillery guns, and even the worst cargo he could possibly carry. Jewish prisoners. He felt no remorse for any of this in this stage of his life. He was only wanting to serve the Reich and its power. February 14th, 1945, 10:30 p.m. Wilhelm made his return from pulling a heavy railway gun to Weimar to defend the city from the Allied invasion, while Heinrich returned from the Eastern Front Line's retreat from Seeland to Nice. Both were very exhausted and decided to rest in the sidings on the far end of Dresden's marshalling yard. God, privilege feels like a sentence, but I shouldn't complain. It is for the Fuhrer. The Fuhrer had better hurry up to come up with something to try and change the tide of the war. I'm tired. Just as they were about to rest, First Lieutenant Schwarzkopf drove into the marshalling yard in a half-track monitoring the AA gun crews at their stations. He then proceeds to walk over to their sheds in a look of frustration. Oh no, he's not looking very pleased. What do you think he's angry about? I don't know, and right now I hardly give a damn. Same here. You think it has to do with Heinrich? Heinrich looked down at the lieutenant with a blank expression. Jawohl. Why haven't you delivered that shipment to Count Flossenberg? I've had enough, sir. Good God. I've been working to death for a dying government. What's the point in trying to keep fighting if we're already on the verge of defeat? I'm through with serving the Reich. Are you questioning the absolute order of the Reich? Are you? You have no right to downsize the significance of our Führer and our government. As Schwarzkopf was reprimanding Heinrich, the air raid sirens suddenly started blaring. All the AA flak gun crews got to their stations and prepared for the incoming strike. Gunther Schwarzkopf, however, was oblivious to the air raid sirens. Sir? Heinrich Schäfer, you will be reprimanded from your position as head operating engine for the Eastern Lines. You will be court-martialed severely for your insubordination. And one more thing. Sig! When the two opened their eyes, and the smoke cleared, they saw an absolute horror that will never be forgotten by either of them. First Lieutenant Gunther Heimerat Schwarzkopf was blown to pieces from a falling firebomb from above. Then Wilhelm looked ahead in front of him, and his eyes were wide, and his breath was stagnated. Heinrich saw exactly what he saw, and all he could do was freeze up in absolute disbelief. Dresden. She's on fire. The whole city is ablaze. The night of February 14th was one of 3 nights when the Allied air forces firebombed the entire city in an effort to destroy the last strongholds of the German war machine's industrial might. Factories had been blown sky high. The marshalling yard were under heavy bombardment. The engines who worked the yards were being blown to scrap one by one, and the city was set on fire. The screams of men, women, and children could be heard from within the orange flames. The Dresden Cathedral came crumbling down. It was literally a living hell on earth. And Wilhelm, being only 4 years old, had become its greatest witness. The soldiers who were still around the marshalling yard scrambled to their sheds. Wir können mit uns die Selbstschrubben verstecken! Ist das alles übrig? Nun, es ist besser als nicht. Alle in Schuppen! Renne davor! Illige Strohsack! Um den Weg! The AA gunners stood at their post trying to cover the retreating men and kept up the flak fire to turn the bombers. Ich hab einen! Ich hab einen! 2 Scheiben! Runter über das ziehen! Verdammt will! Sanitäter! Ist nutzlos! Dann zieht zu will! Wilhelm Streifer and firemen Erich Heimeroth and Wolfgang Werfel ran out of the camp and stand outside the door to let the soldiers in and shut it. But as the soldiers started entering the shed, an Allied escort fighter was falling out of the sky after an AA gun shot its engines and was on the crash course into the marshalling yard. Just before Heimeroth and Werfel could shut the door, the dying fighter plane made one more dive and shot a hailstorm of machine gun fire. Heimeroth and Werfel pulled down the doors and shut them, and the fighter crashed into a line of chemical tankers, resulting in a massive explosion. Everyone all right? Is there any wounded? Wilhelm looked around the crowd of soldiers to find any wounded, but Heinrich unfortunately found something even worse. Wilhelm, I'm sorry. Look down at the floor. Heinrich, what is that you see? I'm sorry, comrade. They didn't make it. Wilhelm looked down at the floor just in front of the doors and could not believe what his eyes laid upon. The bodies of his driver and fireman. Heimeroth had taken a blow to the center of his chest and to his head, if there was anything left of it. Werfel's corpse was disemboweled, decapitated, full of holes. Oh, my God! Heimeroth! Werfel! The firebombing of Dresden was seen as one of the worst acts of human history conducted in the Second World War. 135,000 estimated deaths have been accounted for during the 3-day period of bombardment, higher than that of the death toll of Berlin or Tokyo. Wilhelm would be sent to Berlin for the final siege, whilst Heinrich was sent to the Rhineland to meet the Allies and surrender. A quote from Joseph Stalin. The death of one man is tragedy. The death of millions is a statistic. The end.